let's do some croquettes, just with a little bit of a difference. So as team leader, you better come and give me a hand, Tracy Lee. What we're going to do is we're going to make a bechamel sauce. Because most people think of croquettes, and what's the first thing we think of?
Potato.
Potato, right. So we're not going to have potato anywhere near our croquettes. I've got some milk here, and I'm going to heat that up. And I've got some butter here, and we're going to melt that, and then we're going to put equal quantities of flour. And I'm going to cook that out until we get a blonde roux, what they call a blonde roux. We're not looking for any colour. We want to keep that sandy-looking colour. And there's a bit of a trick to be able to get a runny sauce into a shape that we can get into a fryer and fry into little croquettes. So I'm going to show you that. So here's our butter. It's melted. So straight away we're going to get our flour in there. I'll stir that around in there.
Sometimes at home, Simon, I make a bechamel and it goes lumpy.
Sometimes I make them and they go lumpy too, Tracy Lee. The one trick you can do at the end is to strain it to get those lumps out. Sometimes people won't heat the milk, and that can make lumps occur a lot more. Now, there's some Parmigiano Reggiano down there. Do you want to grate some up? And probably quite a lot, because we'll combine that with those breadcrumbs there. And the trick is with your roux is to keep it moving, you know, as often as possible so it doesn't sit in one place, because you'll find if it does sit in one place, it will go brown. And for this sauce, I don't want that colour and that flavour of that cooked flour in there, because the flavour changes and you can smell the flour change as it cooks. Wow, you want cheesy ones, right? OK, so let's pop some of that in there. That's great.
I love how Parmesan cheese smells like pineapple. Do you get that?
Which pineapples is she getting? Really? You think that smells of pineapple? OK. Now our breadcrumbs are going to be packed with a punch of cheese flavour. OK. Well, that's looking pretty good to me. I'll just take it off the heat. I like to take it off the heat. And I've got a hot milk here. In it goes. Stirring quickly. And see how it's thickening up? And it's still off the heat. Now, you could use a whisk at this stage if you wanted to, but a wooden spoon will do the trick.
It looks like a creamy mash.
It does look a little like a creamy mash. There we go. And there's no lumps in there, is there?
That's like silky smooth.
Looks good, doesn't it? OK, so let's put it back on the heat now, and let's put our ham in. And that flavour will start getting through this. Right, we're good to go. The flour's cooked out of it. Take it off the heat. Now we've got 3 eggs, which is going to richen it up, but it's also going to help set it, because the eggs obviously will cook in here. You need to stir it as soon as the egg goes in, obviously, because you want to combine all the egg in there. You don't want it to sit on top, because the sauce is hot enough to almost cook the egg. Just make sure it's fully combined in there. So that's ready, and all we want to do now is cool that down. It's going to go into a piping bag when it cools down just a little bit. I watched you do putting your meringues into a piping bag, Nadia, and you were sort of holding it like this and pouring it in. But the trick when putting things into a piping bag is to fold them over and put your hand up here like this. And then you can use this as a scraper. And it is a good trick, and I notice a lot of people make this mistake and they end up with stuff all up the side of the piping bag. Use your thumb to scrape things off. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to pipe some lines. So now what I do is get these into the freezer. They've probably been in the freezer for 2.5 hours, completely frozen. And then we're just going to decide what length we want them and use this one as a guide now so that we get them all the same length. Toss them around in the plain flour. And then what I'll do is get you to take these out and pop them into the breadcrumb mix. So you're dipping them into the flour and then into the egg wash, and then we're going to get these coated, and we'll start popping these in here. Righto, so we're looking for a good golden colour with these.
So Simon, the mix holds in the deep fryer because it's frozen. Is that kind of...
That's
why?
right, yeah. It's like you can deep fry butter, for example. I mean, we make a butter, we get brioche bread, and then we get some mainland butter, we soften that, and we mix the brioche crumbs into it, and then we'll freeze that. Then we'll egg wash it again and penne it, and then we'll deep fry it, and you could serve that on top of something, and it'll be crusty, crunchy, but then it'll break into all this lovely butter sauce would come out over the top. There's no end of things that you can do, you know? You could even deep fry mayonnaise. I'm not suggesting you do, but I have been to a restaurant in the US where they do that. They deep fry mayonnaise in a very similar way. I think they're golden enough. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, of course, when you put something that's fried in your mouth first, the first thing you want to do is get that saltiness with the fried. And there, you know, kind of cool, huh? Fried bechamel croquettes.